It's the final countdown! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially come to the end of the road that is the SonicBook'emSexy.net Let's Play Apple Tarot competition. But don't cry too much, because we're going out with a lot of bangs for our bucks this week, this final week, because the Loz has provided us with not one, not two, not three, but 4 different themes that we can choose from. And they are as follows. Swords, representing intellect and reason. Cups, representing love and strong emotions. Wands, representing creativity and originality. And my choice, coins, representing wealth and prosperity. And who better represents wealth and prosperity than Scrooge McDuck, the playable character, the protagonist of DuckTales Remastered, released by WayForward in 2013 for a variety of different platforms, but I am playing on the PC. The games are identical whatever platform you play them on, pretty much, apart from things like trophies for the PlayStation, but I'm not concerned about those. So this is, as you can probably tell from the name, a reimagining or remastering of the original DuckTales, released for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1989. That game is considered a classic by many. However, and this may be slightly controversial, I believe that this remastering is superior in every single respect. That is not to say that I don't think the original is a good game. I believe it is. I just think that this game takes it and improves on it in so many different ways, and I'm going to list some of the ways throughout the course of this video. One thing you have to mention right off the bat is the graphics. This game looks superb. It's cel-shaded, and it's another example, like with Sonic 3D, of 2.5D, but perhaps a more conventional example of 2.5D. Thinking about it, I may have been wrong when I described Sonic 3D as 2.5D, but I'm just going to run with it now, aren't I? Because that was a few weeks ago. Also, I love this animation here. I love the animations in general. I think this game is beautifully, beautifully drawn. All the graphics look fantastic. Scrooge and all the characters look cel-shaded, and it really, really stands out on these 3D backgrounds. I think the idea of having 2D characters on 3D backgrounds with 3D objects is a really, really good idea. It honestly just looks like we're playing through an episode or two of the cartoon series, which ran from 1987 to 1990 and had over 100 episodes by the time it was cancelled. Or by the time it ended. I don't know if it was cancelled or it just came to a natural conclusion. Now this level, this tutorial level, was not in the original game. They've added it, have WayForward, and it just explains the basics. The cane swing, which you do by pressing the Z button, or the Z key I should say. It's not a button, it's a keyboard. Get it right, Raniac, God. The Z button when you're lining up next to an object. The pogo, you jump and then press the Z key. Jump is the space bar on this. Gonna skip that cinematic, because I love the voice acting in this game. That's another major plus. But this is a Let's Play video, and we've only got a set amount of time, so I have to skip certain things. This is Burger Beagle, and that's the end of Burger Beagle. Enjoy your last meal, you jerk. You got a hammer right up the arse. Serves you right. The Beagle Boys were recurring villains in the cartoon series, and it's one of the comic book series that DuckTales was either based off, or the comic book series was based off the cartoon. Either way, they're in the comic book series. There are 7 of them in the cartoon series. We're going to run into 4 of them in total here. There's also Ma Beagle, who's not in the game at all, but she is the matriarch of the Beagle family. And she is based on Ma Barker, who was a real-life American gangster who had quite a few sons, and that was the inspiration for her. Ma Barker was also the inspiration for a Batman villainess in the 60s TV series, who was called Ma Parker. Yeah, they weren't very original. They just took Ma Barker's name, changed the P to a P, and said, that's fine, let's call it a day here. Now, the gameplay is, well, pretty self-explanatory. This tutorial level just shows you how to do it. One thing you need to know about DuckTales, though, and DuckTales Remastered in particular, is secrets are everywhere. You've got hidden treasure chests, diamonds that will just pop out of nowhere, like that, like straight out of hammer space and straight to you. Treasure chests that are suspended from the ceiling, you have to dislodge them with a well-timed rock. And in that treasure chest up there, we have, if Scrooge will actually hit the damn thing, and by Scrooge I mean me, the Mega Coin, which is the invincibility in this game. Once you're under the effects of the Mega Coin, you will kill any enemy just by touching them, but it lasts a ridiculously short time, as you just saw right there. There is an achievement for beating 5 enemies before the Mega Coin runs out. I do have that achievement. I do not have all the achievements for this game because some of them are kind of difficult. They're a combination of what I call progress achievements again, and also achievements you have to go out your way to get. So the one I mentioned with the Mega Coin is an achievement. If you beat 5 enemies using the pogo jump without touching the ground, that's an achievement you can get. I actually got that one on the final level of the game just without knowing it was there. Then you've got various different difficulty levels that you have to beat the game on in order to get achievements. We've got easy mode. We're playing on normal mode, which gives us 2 lives and 3 hearts before we die. Also, yeah, voice acting again. This is Bouncer Beagle, the toughest of the Beagle clan, arguably. I love the fact that he can't stop pounding his fist into his hand whenever he's talking. That's kind of a nice touch. There are some really nice touches in this game. But yeah, normal difficulty, you get 2 lives and 3 hearts. But you can get more by finding heart containers throughout the various levels. Also, take that, Bouncer Beagle. Bop the Beagle Boy right on his bonce. And we save the final of Scrooge's nephews, Louie. It's Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Technically, I suppose they're Huey, Dewey, and Louie McDuck, because as I say, they're Scrooge's nephews, but their surname is never actually mentioned. There's also Webergale, who's the 4th child in the Scrooge household. In the McDuck household. All the characters, all the major characters represented in this game, which is really nice. Including one big-time beagle who we're about to go and fight. Also, it doesn't matter if you've taken damage. They have a cake right before this boss fight to take you straight back to full health, which is nice. So we have this little confrontation between Scrooge and big-time beagle. This is the last cutscene you're going to see in full, pretty much, because, as I say, cutscenes take up too much time, and also, this is a Let's Play video, and I kind of have to talk to get my points, so I don't want to talk too much over the cutscenes, or have too many cutscenes for me to talk over, should I say. So Big Time Beagle's got an army helmet, meaning that you can't actually bounce on him, but that's okay, because Duckworth, your butler, has very kindly provided you with a safe that is hanging up off the ceiling, and you dislodge it with the projectiles that Big Time shoots at you, knock the safe onto him, and then pogo jump on his exposed noggin. Yeah, this boss fight was not in the game. I'm kind of glad it is. My favourite part of the boss fight is the butler Duckworth, who provides his own unique, snarky commentary throughout the fight. I think my favourite line is when he says, "Do be careful, you'll scuff the floor, sir," which I think is hilarious. Also, Big Time's sort of breaking the fourth wall, going, "Who keeps us safe on the ceiling anyway?" Anyway, he goes down in 5 hits. He really is not that difficult of a boss. And he wasn't in the game originally. Gonna skip his cutscene here, and he does say, "This isn't the last you've seen of me." Well, spoilers, in this video anyway, it is the last you see of him. He does show up towards the end of the game in a cutscene, very briefly, but we're not going to see that here. We're instead going to skip straight ahead to one of 5 main levels the game has to offer. This is the Amazon. We have the Amazon, Transylvania, the Himalayas, the African mines, and the moon. You can choose any of those 5 levels in any order, but I usually take the Amazon because I think it is probably by and large the easiest. This game is not that easy, it has to be said, even on easy mode, but ramping things up considerably when you get to the added handicap of having lives and limited hearts in normal, hard, and extreme mode. And you do not want to play on extreme mode unless you want the achievement or you're Freezing Inferno and the hard game beater, because extreme mode is ridiculous. Hard removes your ability to get extra heart containers, but extreme removes your map, and I argue that's even worse if you don't know what you're doing. Of course, at that point, you will actually play through the game at least once, because you have to beat the game on hard in order to get to extreme mode to unlock, but it's still kind of ridiculous. You can also unlock the 8-bit versions of the soundtrack, which were present in the original NES game. I'll talk a bit about the music a bit later on, because the music is another major selling point for this game, but let's talk about our objective here in the Amazon. The reason why I picked this level, in fact, to play for this week and for this theme of wealth is because we are collecting golden coins, so therefore it ties in directly with the theme of coins. Clever that, no? It's not that clever. I'm just giving myself an unneeded ego boost, just don't mind me. There are 8 of them in total, and you actually need them to progress further into the level. Your map will show you, if you press the escape button, you'll bring up a map, as the game told you at the start of the level. The game's pretty good with telling you what to do, actually. It doesn't just throw you in and say, right, here's you, dropped into the Amazon, go crazy. And speaking of crazy, I'm almost dead because I keep bonking my head on those goddamn thorns on the ceiling, but they're pretty generous with the health items, at least in this level. Actually, they're pretty generous with the health items in all the levels. Hard mode is really, really difficult because, you know, it's hard mode, and extreme is ridiculous. But I have to say, for normal mode, they've got the difficulty curve just right. It's challenging, and you will die quite a few times, especially if you're not paying attention, as I kind of was not paying attention here all the time. But it's not so difficult you'll be tearing your hair out. It's a challenge, basically. It's a challenge, but it's a fair one, in my opinion. Although it did take me quite a few times to get this footage recorded. I had quite a few problems this week, which I won't go into huge details with, but let's just say that my laptop doesn't like this game and does not like recording this game in the slightest. So we now have most of the coins. We're going back to the surface, which is good, because the surface is a lot easier to traverse than the goddamn underground. There is actually an achievement you can get in the underground portion of the level. It's very difficult to get, though. It's another one of those hidden achievements that you don't actually know about. Steam actually hides it from you in their achievements menu. I actually like the fact Steam started doing that now. It doesn't tell you all the achievements that you have to get. They actually hide them and say, right, here are the achievements. There's also 5 more that we're not going to tell you about, but they are there. In the past with Steam, they didn't tell you just that. You just had to figure out that, okay, it's saying I have 15 achievements to get, but they're only showing 10 on the screen, so there must be 5 I don't know about. I just kind of like that. It's just me. Up here is our penultimate coin. One thing we are missing by turning off the cinematics, which I've done just to speed things up a bit, is you get a conversation between Scrooge and Launchpad every time. Well, not every time you collect a coin. Sometimes when you collect a coin, you get a conversation between Scrooge and Launchpad. They're kind of funny, but again, it's a Let's Play video, and I didn't want to have too much dialogue that I had to talk over. I would encourage you to play this game if you've got the ability to play it, because it really is really, really good in my opinion, and that way you'll get the full experience with all the cutscenes. Or you can skip through them if you're a speedrunner, or a game reviewer, because the game reviewers, funnily enough, criticised the cutscenes, or one review did, I can't remember which outlet it was for, criticised the cutscenes for breaking up the gameplay, which is exactly what you have cutscenes for. Honestly, some game reviews are never satisfied. We have this wonderful, cel-shaded reinvention of a classic NES game. They add so much to it the way forward, with extra levels and extra things to collect and stuff like that, and what the game reviews complained about? The cutscenes, which they went out of their way to add. I mean, the cutscenes are fantastic, and they incorporate nearly all of the major characters from the cartoon series. Obviously, you've got Scrooge, who's the main character, the nephews, and Webergale, who I've already mentioned. We've also got Launchpad, but then you've got Gyro, Mr. Scrooge's? He's not Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Carol, Rainiac, get with the program. You've got Mr. McDuck's personal inventor, Gyro. You've got his accountant Fenton and his alter ego of Gizmo Duck. And on the villain side, you've got Magic of the Spell, who's actually one of the bosses in this game, who was a recurring antagonist in the cartoon series, and Scrooge's main rival, Flintheart Glomgold, who is another Scottish billionaire, but unlike Scrooge, he's evil. Scrooge is pretty self-centered, but he does have a soft spot for his family. He cares about his family more than his wealth, and because of that, I couldn't really have played this full last week, where I was going to do something based on greed with Wario Land. I could have played Wario Land this week, in fact. Kind of similar to how Rhett could have picked Binding of Isaac for several of the weeks of this competition. But no, I'd already done Wario Land, so I chose DuckTales instead, and I think it probably is an even better fit, actually. Because the thing with the coins also da-da-da-da-da-da-da, run away from the boulder and copyright infringement. Please stop singing. There we go. And I kind of deserve to get hit for that a cappella karaoke session, don't I? Here's another secret of this vine, and this secret is actually a really, really neat secret that you want to go out of your way to go and find. I mentioned characters from the TV series. There's also Duckworth the Butler, and one that we're going to run into, rather surprisingly, in the middle of this temple, Mrs. Beakley the Housekeeper, who gives you items whenever you find her in the level. She kind of is hidden away. She's not in every level, I believe, but when she does show up, she'll give you food items to replenish your health, and in normal mode, you get a 1-up doll, which is very, very useful because, as I say, this game has quite a decent amount of challenge to it, and you will end up failing at least once or twice. Disclaimer, I failed more than once or twice, just on this level alone trying to record this footage, but that's a secret that we're going to keep. Except not, because I've just revealed it to everybody. One thing I don't like about the gameplay, and I can't remember if this was the same in the NES DuckTales, because I haven't played through all of the NES DuckTales, is the enemies are constantly respawning. It's just a kind of a minor annoyance for me. Also, you can't poke jump on spears, pro tip. Yeah, the enemies just keep coming. I suppose it does add a level of difficulty, and they don't come in certain areas, which is nice, but it doesn't allow you a chance to catch your breath. It's like 2 seconds between enemies. Also, the sky is falling, run, well no, the rocks in the ceiling are falling, and that diamond is lost to time. So is that ice cream that was in that treasure chest, because I'm an idiot and I golf swung it right off the ledge. I had to keep that in there. I was laughing so hard at that point that I almost died again because I was unable to keep my composure. I was laughing so hard. Up this vine then we've got these snakes, which are kind of placed in a bad spot. You have to wait till they wind their necks in and then pogo jump on them. I should really take my own advice because I didn't do that and then I got hit. Another quick cut here because, funnily enough, the phone rang twice. So I had to cut that because I wasn't going to abandon this take. You'll notice I've lost a life and I wasn't going to show that either because I'm a professional. Which is to say that I'm not, but I'm going to cut out all the times that I feel like an idiot. So yeah, the voice acting I've already mentioned, the music I'm going to mention as well. The music is fantastic. It's all remixes of tracks from the original game, and they're composed by one Jake Kaufman, who also did the music for Shovel Knight, another really, really good game, and actually kind of owes some of its gameplay to DuckTales in my opinion, with the Shovel Knight's ability to use his shovel as a pogo stick. Kaufman did most of the tracks for that game, Shovel Knight, and did all the tracks for this one, and he did a fantastic job in my opinion. You can unlock the 8-bit tracks, also there's our heart container, there's one in every level, except if you're playing on hard mode, which they're replaced by treasures. He did a fantastic job in the music in this game, in my opinion. You can replace it with the 8-bit tracks from the original, which you unlock by beating the game once, but honestly, kind of a sacrilegious point here, but I prefer the remixes. Speaking of remixes I really enjoy, this boss theme is absolutely goddamn awesome. And here's our boss fight, this giant statue. All the boss fights from the original game remain intact, but they've been given a huge graphical upgrade, and they've also got some new attacks that they didn't have in the NES original. In addition to this statue, we've got Magic of Dispel, who I already mentioned is the boss of Transylvania. We've got a Bigfoot/Yeti as the boss of the Himalayas. We've got the King of a Strange Underground People, at least it is in this game, for the African Mines. And for the moon, it's a giant rat which is possessed by green cheese and becomes giant and gets super speed. You cannot make the plot of this game up. Kind of doing a bad job against this statue, but for the first boss he's not too hard. You just need to make sure that whenever he glows purple, you jump, because that can actually damage you. And also be aware that when he lands on the ground, it actually interrupts your pogo jump. That's kind of the thing that got me hit. When he sends down these blocks from the ceiling, just pay attention to where they're coming and don't get crushed. Crushing is not an instant kill in this game, which is very, very nice, because it's usually an instant kill in other platform games of its type. But not here, you'll just take damage. And yeah, not that hard of a boss. One other thing I need to mention before this boss fight is, there's the purple attack. Make sure you jump at the right time or you will take damage even if you're nowhere near the down statue head. Is the voice acting. Voice acting was superb and all the voice actors from the original cartoon series remain. Alan Young still voices Scrooge McDuck. Rusty Taylor, who is the voice of Minnie Mouse, voices Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webber Gale. I believe Webber Gale is still voiced by Rusty Taylor. Sadly, one character who could not be voiced by the original voice actor was Mrs. Beakley, because Joan Gerber, the lady who voiced her, died in 2011. So in her place, they brought in Wendy Lee, who is famous for being in everything ever requiring voice actresses. I don't know what it is, but Wendy Lee gets so much goddamn voice work. I don't know if it's the fact that she's a really good voice actress or that she's just got a really, really good agent. No, seriously though, I think Wendy Lee's a pretty good voice actress. And she does a good job in this game as Mrs. Beakley. I always thought it was Joan Gerber until I researched it. And we beat the boss and we get the Scepter of the Incan King. Or actually, as you find out in the cutscene that I'm not going to show here, it's actually the old King's back scratcher, but don't tell Scrooge McDuck. The humour in this game I think is really, really good. It's like you're playing through an episode of the cartoon series, which reminds me of a game that's coming out soon called Cuphead, which again looks like you're playing through an episode of a cartoon, although in that case it's a fictional cartoon, and I really, really want to get Cuphead when it comes out for Xbox One, and also I believe it's coming to Windows PC. So we're coming to the end of the video, and of course the competition in general. But we couldn't end a video on wealth without fulfilling a childhood dream and jumping into the goddamn money bin. Yes, WayForward added this feature into the game, and they're an absolute genius. They also added a final level Mount Vesuvius in place of the second trip to Transylvania, although the boss fight with Dracula Duck remains the same. And that's it for both this week and indeed the Let's Play Apple Tarot competition in general. So I've been Rainiac. I hope you've enjoyed both this video and all the videos about the competition because I certainly enjoy making them. And until next time, on whatever video I make next, bye for now.